Hello guys, and welcome to my build series of my EVO 8 build series. Putting a DQ500 all-wheel drive transmission, which is a DSG 7-speed DSG, into my EVO 8. I will show you the whole process of what's needed to get this to work. I'm sorry, I'm very tired. It's late. Still at work. So I'm gonna try to make the videos keep moving. You know, I do have a full-time job, so I don't do this full-time, the video stuff. I'm not a YouTuber, so I will do my best to show everything. This first video right now will be about what I did to modify on the short block to get this adapter to fit. And as you can see, all the mounts for an EVO 8.9. Should stay until the end of the video, and I will show you. I will talk about what's all needed. So just follow. So these are the parts you get whenever you buy the kit itself for the engine to transmission adapter. So you have the adapter plate, and then you have the conversion kit for the flywheel, which is also a dual mass flywheel needed in order for it to work. So here's all the bolts you get. You can't really mess them up. I will show you whenever I start putting it together, and I will show you the modifications needed on the actual block to get this to fit correctly. So what you have here is the adapter. The reason why it's so thick is because the flywheel adapter, going from a 7-bolt to a 8-bolt, or however many that is, for it to work, because the dual mass is not a 7-bolt, of course. And this is a precise fitment, so you don't have to force it. It'll go right in perfectly, and it comes with the bolts for this. For the ones for the flywheel, if you buy a brand new one, which is what I recommend for a brand new dual mass flywheel, which I'll show you in a second, is they actually come with brand new hardware. I do not recommend getting a used flywheel. Just spending money for a new one, and it'll work perfectly. You will also get this bolt, what I should show you in a little bit, bolt and washer. This one too, since you're cutting part of the block off. There's also another bolt from the block to the transmission. I mean, from transmission to the block, of course. And I will show you that. And also, this is the T-case adapter. Now, the 250 and the DQ500 use the same bolt pattern. This kit, because of this, is for the 500. The 250 you will have to fabricate yourself, but this kit is for anybody who wants to just slap it together. You can put it on a different car, and I will show you the mount kit to put it on the EVO. First thing we're gonna do is the dowels. Now the dowels will stick out a certain distance. What you do is you get in the back of it, which is the part that mates to the engine, this side mates to the transmission. So you have the dowel portions for here, measure the depth, and then cut down your dowels. Otherwise it'll stick out, it won't sit flush. So in my case, I already cut them down. So let me go ahead and put them in. Because right now, all we're doing is just measuring to cut. So on the block, here's the back of the block. I marked it in blue. This last portion, this last hole in the bottom has to be cut off. Now right here, this little ear sticking out, we're gonna go ahead and thread that, and I will show you in a little bit how that works. So for right now, what we're doing is find a place to cut. So what I do at first is the 2 holes, I just find a middle point and I just mark it. And right here, it has a shape, like a round shape. I'll cut that off. But of course, mount it first, double check before you can do the complete cut. Now the hardware that you get for the engine will be 4 bolts. You have these two, exact same length, which should be the 2 top ones. These 2 are the same, so one of them is the front one, which on the 5-speed is threaded on the transmission side, and the one on the back on top is threaded on right here. So we're gonna go ahead and line it up and bolt it in. Make sure you get the dowel in there. There you go. That's why you got to make sure, don't crush it. I still have a little gap, which means I still got to cut the dowel a little bit more. But just make sure it is flush. The front one's good, but not the back one. But it's fine for now, because all we're doing right now is just getting a measurement for it to cut. So you do not have to cut the whole thing. You can if you want to, but usually if you get the transmission, you'll see that anything right here on top is not really on the way. So right here I already marked it all the way down. I can go a little bit more. Let me go a little bit more just in case. A little bit more will not hurt. I got some blue pen marker. Mark it like that. See, I marked it. And halfway point. So there you go. Later on, if it interferes, you can always go back and cut it. So now we're gonna cut this part of the block. Let's take it back out. Hey, while at it, I'm gonna cut a little bit more on the dowel so it can sit flush. All right, let's cut this down. All right, guys, so I already went ahead and cut the block. We still have to cut back here for the fitment of the T-case. This bracket bolts like so, like this. So this gets on the way. But for now, we're just gonna get the transmission mounted, and maybe we'll go from there. I already cut right here. So now let's go ahead and bolt all this together. 2 short ones. Right here, right here. This one. These two are the same. One goes to the back where the dowel's at. And the other one will go to the front. And bolt nut in the back. All right, go ahead and bolt it in right now. All right, so I had the adapter plate fully bolted. The 2 top bolts on the block. We got the front one where the dowel goes to, which is the one that goes all the way through with a washer and nut. This one where the dowel was at, and right here in the bottom this long bolt, which is the only one with a different thread pitch. That's the one that bolts into the transmission. And this little ear right here gets threaded this size, which I'll put on the screen. In this case, I'm not gonna do it on this block. This is not the actual my motor. This is a trash motor, but it goes like so. And this gets threaded up on it, and this gets threaded on the transmission. So right now we're gonna go ahead and slap it on the transmission. All right, so got the adapter plate, got the cut, got the adapter plate put on. Just make sure this bottom piece, you gotta cut the whole thing all the way up. Just make sure it matches with the contour of the plate. Now right here, you can cut it a little bit higher. You can leave it like that. Once you test fit it, you'll see if you have to cut more. But remember, when you test fit, it's not only the transmission all this cutting is just for the clearance of the transfer case. So I already test fitted it with what I cut. It's not enough. Now I have to, and I actually marked it, but I just didn't cut it. Now I have to take everything off and cut it smooth right here, flat all the way across. Also right here, the little ear, go ahead and try to smooth out, like sand it all the way close to that, but not too much, because you're gonna utilize this for the bracket that goes on here that gets threaded here. So just all this, line it up with that, get a straight edge, make sure everything is flat here, all smooth, okay? And then we'll go from there. All right, this bracket right here goes into this lower bolt. Get it all in there. Yeah, snug it up. This is the time where you bolt it all down. So you're gonna get this one. You're gonna thread it in there, snug it, tighten this up, snug it, tighten up to get it all perfect and tight. In my case, I'm not gonna do it. This one. So now that we have the engine mated, so now we're gonna go ahead and put the T-case, and hopefully I cut it just right. If not, I will have to cut it. But before you put the T-case, make sure you cut this down for the bracket. This bracket has to sit here smooth. But for right now, I'm not gonna cut it right now. I'll cut it in a little bit. I'm just worried about this right now, so I can just do it all at the same time if I have to do it. So let's go ahead and slap the T-case in. Hopefully it doesn't fall on me. There you go. See, I'm already interfering, so I have to cut more, and the motor just fell. That's fine. So what I would do is put the bracket on and just cut all the way in the bottom. I don't think the top, I think the top will be fine. Let me double check. Yeah, the top is fine. It's just the bottom piece. But like I said, the top hole, the bottom one, the middle, cut. And then I'll put this in, the adapter plate. Follow the inside right here. I actually marked it with blue, but I didn't even cut it. So now I'm gonna remove the transmission again, because I don't want to get stuff in here, and then cut it down, and then I'll be right back. So I got the brackets installed. So here's the rear bracket. So you remove these right here, this one and this one. The factory ones are triple squares, so you got to get the triple square sockets. And then the kit actually comes with those two bolts, and then use the T-case bolt for here. T-case bolts for here, and then one of the bottom ones down here. It comes with the kit. It's already threaded down there. So the mount kit comes with this one down here and these two to get this rear bracket installed. Now the passenger side mount comes with this right here. Just put it in there, and the mount goes over it. Now the front one, it comes with this bar. Use your factory EVO mount, this bracket, which bolts into right here, this one and this one. Now you might have to, which is what I did here, just trim a little bit of the transmission or the bracket to get this to sit flush. And then since this bolt goes from the inside, you actually free spin. So when you tighten this up, I suggest just getting an impact just to tighten it up because I have nowhere to hold it in there while you tighten it up. Now that's the actual mount kit, and of course this one right here. Now this one, the bottom one, has a hex in the middle that bolts in the middle. So you put that, center it, tie it up in the middle. Then this one goes on top, and you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this bracket goes onto the frame rail. The two 12s that are on the actual frame rail itself, use those to line up. And then it comes with this hardware right here, which ties this up. Now before you do this, you do have to cut the factory, which I will show you in a little bit. You cut the factory motor mount bracket, and then you line that up. You thread tap, and then you bolt those in, tie them up. So that's the whole mount kit for the EVO 8.9. The back mount uses a factory mount. Factory mount on this side, factory mount in the front. So that's the mount kit for the EVO 8.9. Next video, I will do the modifications needed on the frame rail, because you do have to cut the bottom of the frame rail so this can fit in there. And I'm just stay updated. Thank you. All right, and welcome back. That was the video of me doing the modifications needed to put it together. As you see behind me, I have the engine assembled. On this next video, what I'm gonna do is the whole process of modifying the frame rail on the EVO. It's not that much, but you do have to cut past the driver's side motor mount. I will show you the whole process in that, doing that, so I can get the motor in the car. Now, what you need donor-wise, or you can buy them brand new from the dealership. They're very expensive, but you can get you gotta find a DQ500 all-wheel drive transmission. In the US, all we have is the TTRS and the RS3. The rest of the world, they have other vehicles that have the same transmission, and you also need which is right there. It is a Haldex Gen 5 rear diff. Gen 4 will work, but the reason I'm using a Gen 5 is because it has an electrical pump, and I can activate it dead stop, because my plan with this car is to take it to the drag strip, which means I gotta have it in all-wheel drive mode right from the launch, so I don't have to launch the car. Gen 4, you have to have some movement in order for it to activate, which I don't think it's a good idea, but if you want to do it that way, you can. If you don't plan to drag the car, it's fine too. Now, my engine, I have a Motec M150 controlling the engine, and for the transmission, I'm gonna run the HTG tuning TCU, which has full control of the transmission, and it also talks to the Motec to get everything to work right. But I still got a ways to go. Now, as you can see right there, I have a manual rack subframe. That's my personal preference. You can run your factory power steering rack if you want, but I want lightweight, and that's what I'm doing. But for this video, I'm gonna mount it up in the car with the factory subframe and steering rack, and then I'll swap it out later on. Now, it's gonna take a little bit longer to get this going. Like I said, I have a full-time job, so now the rear diff, in order to get it mounted, I'm working with EVO Spec Performance. We're getting a rear subframe, tubular subframe, for it to work. And then after that, I'm gonna have, as soon as I mount that up, then I'm gonna get a drive shaft made, and also axles from Drive Shaft Shop. Now, the guy that made the adapter kit has a full dropping kit with axles. I don't recommend them for a high horsepower car. It's pretty much a stock deal where you use the stock inners and a stock EVO outers with his shaft. He also has a rear subframe brace to mount the rear diff into the factory rear subframe. It's heavy. If you want to do that, you can. I'm doing it tubular wise because it's lightweight, and that's what I want to do. Now, what else? Well, a lot of people have been asking me about how to control the rear diff. Gen 5 is very simple. It's 2 wires, and I'm using a solid state to control that, and I'm having a map built into the M150 to control the rear diff. Now there's other ways to do it. I think there's a Haldex controller has a controller where it's more simplified way, so you don't have to build a map. But when I get there, I'll talk about it. You know, this car is mainly front wheel drive, so I might just get it running front wheel drive just to get it running, and then after that, then I work my way back to the rear wheel drive. You don't have to have all wheel drive. Excuse me, all wheel drive in order for it to work. So you know, any questions you have, you know, just write it down below. Subscribe, ring, to see when the next video is dropping. I'm gonna try to do it as quick as possible, just to get in the car. You know, it's gonna take me a while also because I'm doing wiring and I got other things I want to do to the car. So you know, my email's in the bottom. Go in the bottom and check the email out. If you want this kit, then just email me. I am the USA distributor. If you're out of the country, then just let me know and I can point you out the right direction where to get the kit. Just any questions you have, send me an email. I'll respond. If you want a rear subframe, or if you have any questions at all, just let me know. You know, I think whenever I get the axle sent out the measurements, it's probably gonna take a while for that to get back. You know, of course, nowadays everything takes forever. So, you know, just stay posted. I will try to do my best to drop videos. What will help me, you know, if you guys comment, you know, it'll help me out get this going, because thank my wife, because she's the one that's actually pushing me to complete my car. You know, my car's been down for 10 years. I constantly change stuff. You know, I have a build to leader. I have Tomei cams. I have mechanical fuel pump, 8 injectors, drive-by-wire, big turbo, all that good stuff everybody wants. But just keep updated and you'll see what happens and how this progresses. Thank you and keep watching.